When you're building a brand, protecting your intellectual property is crucial. One of the most important steps in that process is filing for trademark protection. But what happens between the moment you file your application and when you receive full federal registration? This period is known as trademark pending status, and understanding your rights during this time can make all the difference in safeguarding your brand. Trademark pending means your application for trademark protection is currently under review with the United States Patent and Trademark Office, or USPTO. During this time, you can use special symbols next to your mark to indicate its pending status. These symbols serve an important purpose. They signal to competitors and the public that you've claimed this mark and are seeking legal protection for it. Even though your trademark isn't fully registered yet, you do have certain rights during the pending period. The moment you begin using a mark in commerce, you gain what are called common law rights. These exist independently of federal registration and provide a baseline level of protection. Additionally, your filing date establishes priority. If someone else tries to register a similar mark after you've filed, your earlier date typically gives you the upper hand. Your pending application also serves as evidence of your intent to use and protect the mark, which can support your position in disputes or cease and desist letters. Understanding the trademark symbols is essential for protecting your brand during this period. There are three main symbols you need to know about. TM stands for trademark and is used for marks that represent goods or companies that manufacture products. SM stands for service mark and is typically used by companies that provide services. The key thing to understand about these two symbols is that anyone can use them freely. They don't require legal documentation or approval, and they don't actually hold legal significance on their own. However, they do serve an important practical purpose by making the public aware that you're claiming rights to your branding. Most companies use TM or SM as a placeholder while their trademark application is pending. These symbols can discourage other businesses from copying your logo, design, phrase, or symbol. They act as a warning that you've claimed this design and are serious about protecting it. There are no legal requirements around using these symbols, so the choice is entirely yours. But adding them can help deter potential infringement. The registered trademark symbol, shown as the letter R in a circle, is different. This symbol has legal restrictions and is regulated by federal law. You can only use this mark after you've received an actual trademark registration certificate from the USPTO, not while your application is pending. The registered symbol can only be used with the exact logo, symbol, phrase, word, or design that received trademark protection. If you modify your design, you'll need to apply for a new trademark before using the registered symbol again. While using the registered symbol isn't legally required, omitting it can create problems. If another company infringes on your trademark, you'll need to prove they knew you had trademark protection. Without the registered symbol, you may give up your right to claim lost profits and damages unless you can prove the infringer knew about your registered mark before the infringement occurred. When the registered mark is used properly, the law considers this constructive knowledge of your trademark, meaning no one can claim ignorance. When adding any of these symbols to your mark, the standard practice is to print them in superscript text at the top right corner. If that placement doesn't work aesthetically, you can place them at the bottom right corner. In written documents, you typically use the symbol once at the first instance of the mark, and then you can omit it in successive references. The trademark pending period serves an important purpose. It establishes your claim to the design and brings awareness to others in your industry about your ownership. But how long does this period last? The timeline can vary, but there are general expectations. It typically takes 7 to 11 months for the USPTO to assign an examining attorney to review your application initially. If there are objections or issues with your application, you may receive what's called an office action, which requires additional time for you to respond and for the USPTO to review your response. If your application passes examination, it enters a 30-day opposition period where it's published in the official Gazette. During this time, third parties can file an opposition if they believe your mark conflicts with theirs. Assuming no oppositions arise and all requirements are met, final registration can occur within 12 to 18 months from your initial filing. Delays can extend this timeline if your application has issues or if other parties challenge it during the publication period. Many applicants make the mistake of thinking that filing an application gives them full protection immediately. This is a dangerous misconception. Using TM or SM doesn't prevent infringement or guarantee your application will be approved. Another common error is failing to monitor the marketplace. Competitors may still attempt to register or use similar marks, so you must actively watch for potential conflicts. Many people also assume approval is automatic, but rejections are actually quite common. Applications can be denied due to similarity to existing marks, lack of distinctiveness, or incomplete documentation. Some business owners believe they can't legally use the trademark or service mark symbols until their design receives approval from the USPTO. This is incorrect. That restriction only applies to the registered trademark symbol. In fact, using your logo, phrase, design, word, or image actually qualifies you for common law trademark rights. The TM and SM symbols help generate awareness of your claim to the mark. As long as you're certain your mark doesn't violate any existing trademarks, you should start using it as soon as possible in your business. Keep thorough documentation of your trademark search so you have proof if your application gets denied or if competitors try to apply for a trademark on your design. The USPTO focuses heavily on filing dates and dates of first use, so submitting your application as soon as possible is critical. While your trademark is pending, there are several proactive steps you can take to protect your brand. First, actively use your mark in commerce with the TM or SM designation. This builds goodwill and proves first use, which strengthens your claim. Monitor the USPTO Gazette, which is published weekly, to spot potentially conflicting applications. If someone infringes on your pending mark, you can send cease and desist letters. While your legal remedies are limited compared to a registered trademark, action is still possible based on your filing date and common law rights. Maintain detailed documentation of everything related to your mark. Keep records of its use, advertising, sales, and public presence. This documentation supports your claim if it's ever challenged. Working with a trademark attorney is also highly advisable. An attorney can help you navigate office actions, oppositions, and enforcement strategies during the pending phase, significantly improving your chances of success. After you file your trademark application, the process unfolds in several distinct stages. Your application receives a serial number and enters the queue for examination. A USPTO examining attorney then evaluates your application for compliance with trademark law and conducts a search for conflicts with existing marks. If issues are found, you'll receive an office action detailing the problems. You must respond within 3 to 6 months, depending on the specific issue. If your application is approved after examination, your mark is published in the official Gazette. Third parties then have 30 days to file an opposition if they believe your mark conflicts with their rights. If you filed based on intent to use rather than actual use, you'll receive a notice of allowance and must submit proof of use within a specific time frame. Finally, if no oppositions arise or you successfully overcome them, your mark proceeds to registration and you receive your certificate. Common law trademark rights deserve special attention. These rights protect businesses and individuals even without federal registration. You can register marks at the state level where you run your business, but even without state registration, you may still have legal protection if you commonly use the mark in business. However, common law rights have an important limitation. If you're using a design similar or identical to one that holds a federal trademark, the owner can take legal action against you for infringement. Common law trademark rights also don't offer the same benefits as federal registration. With federal registration, you gain the right to sue in federal court, publish your mark in the USPTO database, and after 5 years, apply for presumption of incontestability. This presumption significantly lowers the risk that someone can successfully sue you for trademark infringement or dilution. Any person, corporation, or business partnership can register for a trademark. To file, you need to complete the USPTO's application, which is available on their website. If you're filing for a state trademark, instead, you'll need a different application that varies by state. Once you complete and submit the application, your mark officially enters trademark pending status. Understanding trademark pending status is essential for anyone building a brand. It's an interim solution for protecting your intellectual property, but it's a critical phase that requires active management. You can and should use the trademark or service mark symbols with your design, but the real protection comes from filing your application as soon as possible, and then actively monitoring and enforcing your rights during the pending period. Approval of your application allows you to use the registered symbol and enjoy the full legal rights and nationwide protection of a federally registered trademark. Until then, understanding your limited but important rights during the pending phase helps you protect your brand effectively while you wait for full registration.